What are they doing out here?
Hello. It's Thursday night. Wait a minute. It's not Thursday night. What the hell is going on here? It's Monday.
Daylight savings time.
Daylight savings. It's dark where I am, but it's still 5:20 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what we're doing here. That's a lie. I do. But we're here, a surprise run-in of sorts with myself and Pluggo. And as you can see below us, a couple guests. It was Pluggo's idea earlier today. He hit me up and he said, hey, I don't want to wait till Thursday because we don't really know what's going to go on tomorrow and stuff. But he wanted to talk about a couple beloved favorites of NXT who are potentially in their last week with NXT. And that is one Johnny Gargano and one Kyle O'Reilly. So we decided we would hop on here for a little bit and discuss that. And who better to have on the show discussing NXT talents than the star of NXT, the big star, the natural, one Astrid right below me here. Astrid, how are you doing today?
I'm tired. I like getting out of work at 5, being on the seat by 5:20. Nice timing. This is the best timing ever. But no, I love talking NXT. So anytime anybody invites me NXT, I'm in.
Awesome. Love it. And we have also our friend Carl from Turnbuckle Pod. We were on his show last week, so I decided to hit him up, see if he was available to hop on with us for a little bit, and gladly he was. So, Carl, how we doing, my friend?
I am doing okay. It's been snowing. It's been blowing. It has been storming where I am. I've been working through it all. It has absolutely sucked, but you continue on. And I mean, when somebody messaged me and says, hey, you want to hop on a stream and just talk some shit? I'm like, okay, how long? I got till I have to go to work. So
Absolutely. We want to say hi to our buddy Throwback going through. Poor guy he got the COVID. I hope you're doing all right. I hope, you're resting up and feeling better. Maybe we can have you again when you're a little healthier, have a run-in with us sometime. But first and foremost, make sure you take care of yourself, watch yourself, and hopefully you get better soon, my friend. We have our buddy Lawrence. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you in here.
It's good to see some people showing up with us.
Yeah, for like random, no promo, no nothing. Just like, F it. Let's just do this, man.
I was like, JPJ, let's talk wrestling because I need to talk some wrestling. And why not talk Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly? It's a bit of as you saw last night, War Games, and Astrid and Ed talked about it on the post. It's the end of an era. And I think, it's something like the heart and soul of NXT for Johnny Gargano is something that I don't think we should wait on. I think we should talk about that and discuss it. I mean, the impact he had on that brand, and who knows what he's going to do next. I know he said he's going to discuss it Tuesday, but I just wanted to talk about, especially Johnny, but Kyle too. Kyle is part of one of the best factions in the last 10 years, right? Easily. And he had a place there, and I think he said a lot when he said the Undisputed Era is a brotherhood, and I think he's leaving too, and that signifies a whole mess of change. So, yeah, I wanted to have some people on and just kind of bask in the glory that was Johnny and Kyle.
Yeah, it's true. And we want to say hi to Goose, honk, getting in there. And then our buddy Dan saying, what's up? What is up with you, my friend? It is, especially, for a lot of us who have watched NXT for a long time, obviously we've seen the drastic change in the program over the last few months. Still a good show, though. Still a solid show from a wrestling perspective. And it's just a different show now, right? And as it's moved into this different show, we have some of the old guard that are still there that we all love and adore because they are all great and they represent, I think, the NXT that we all fell in love with originally, right? So to kind of see them become involved in the new NXT, the 2.0 NXT, the questions always were like, all right, well, how are these people going to really fit in here long term? And then you start hearing contract stuff where, Gargano's is up. He signed a week extension to make it to War Games last night. So apparently he signed a couple days extra to make it to the show tomorrow. Kyle's up this week as well. He's going to be on the show tomorrow in a cage match with Von Wagner. But yeah, it seems to be like there is a good potential that this is it for both of these guys who are, you said heart and soul. To me, in my, as much of the iterations of NXT that there has been and the different waves of talent, to me, when I think of NXT, I think of Johnny Gargano. That's the guy I think of. To me, he is NXT. He's the heart and soul, as they say. It is a tagline, but to me, that is true. He's been there the whole time. Multiple time heavyweight, he's had all the titles. He's done everything you could ever do. He signed a week extension so he could specifically be in a War Games match because that was one of the only things he didn't accomplish. Yeah, man, he's the heart and soul of it to me. And I know we'll talk about Kyle too, but Gargano is really the one that sticks out with me because he's just somebody that and he might stay, but he's just somebody that I always envisioned as kind of being an NXT lifer. But obviously with the changes made, who really knows? Astrid, I will send it down to you. Just your opinions on Gargano in general and like what his impact was on NXT and what you hope happens in the future. And what do you think is going to happen with Johnny Gargano?
It's like he's one of those people that I didn't know about him until he was in NXT. And then one of those people that he made an impact already. And I don't want him to leave, obviously. But at the same time, what else is there for him to do in NXT at this point? And I don't see anything else for him to do right now, aside from pushing and giving momentum to the new faces of the 2.0 era. But at the same time, I don't want him in AEW because I know AEW is overcrowded at this point. So why is it going to be like one more person in there? So it's hard, but I just want him to be somewhere that he's happy, that he can wrestle and just be happy where he is and be content with his performances. And not only that, but what does that mean for Candice later on? I know obviously she's pregnant right now, but they're going to, at that time, she's away to her contract later on. And she's going to be without him for a little bit, or how is that going to work? But he certainly made an impact for me. And last night was just exactly the exclamation point. It was exactly how I envisioned the match with him, and having those little moments with Pete and having the little moments here with Ciampa, just like they were exactly what I wanted it to be. And so much more. And I saw that, and I seen the promo after the show ended. That made me so emotional. And him coming out to Rebel Heart, I was a roller coaster. So I will try not to cry after the show ended.
I was on a live watch along last night, and when he came out to the old music, I was like, You're gonna make me misty. You're gonna make me misty-eyed. I'm alive here. Do not do this to me. Yeah, that hit my heartstrings really to start off, and then the outfit that he was wearing that had throwbacks to all the different outfits that he wore, and the Johnny Takeover were all the different characters of the outfits he wore at Takeover. Like, it was just like Dan says, like, of the two, I think Gargano is the one that would stay more than Kyle. I think Kyle's see you later. But last night, the way they positioned it, the way that everything went down, and you see the interview, like the promo that he cut afterwards, it did feel like a send-off. And I don't know if they're playing it because they know that he's sticking around and they want, he's going to give us good news tomorrow. I don't know. That is a possibility. But it felt like a send-off. It felt like this was a goodbye to Johnny.
And the Glorious Bomb video that he made with Ciampa, just like...
Yeah, that too. You can add that to the day as well. And Ed, who hosts NXT with you, Astrid, he says Johnny is gone. He thinks New Japan Pro Wrestling, the USLA Dojo, or Impact. I think those Impact seems I like Impact, but he seems bigger than that to me. And New Japan, I'm with you. Impact seems too, I'm not trying to insult Impact, but Impact seems too, like, not everybody can even watch Impact now that it's on Access. Like, that seems too, he belongs higher than that to me. He also says, I had to take a moment on the watch along last night, made me tear up. It did. And there's Josh saying, hello, friend.
Hello, Josh.
And I'll pass it off to Kyle. Jesus
Carl.
Christ, Kyle O'Reilly. I'll pass it off to Carl.
His name is Carl, JP.
His name is Carl.
Carl.
Your Johnny Gargano comments, favorite matches of his, where you think he might end up, just your opinion of what the future holds for one Mr. Johnny Takeover, Johnny Gargano.
Well, I will have to say that, yes, just as Kyle O'Reilly is a good Canadian, I like to believe that I'm a good Canadian as well. Carl O'Reilly.
Sorry. I ruined that for you for life. My bad. That's my B. That's my B.
Oh, that's okay.
I'll make memes about it later. It's fine. We'll run with it.
Just make sure you tag me in them.
This is what happens when we go on the fly like this. I make,
It's live television, people. That's what happens. There's no cuts here. There's no cuts. Oh, Gargano. I mean, I've watched since I was 3 years old the world of professional wrestling. So I have seen a lot of these people. There we go.
Yeah, who's starting the
tunes
show
in the
over?
background.
Yeah, feedback, bro. Feedback.
Seeing these guys coming through what would be considered the independent scene now really doesn't feel as though it's more independent scene, but more just companies. But coming through that scene up to making it to the WWE, which for the longest time was exactly what people wanted. They wanted to make it because that was the big time. It's just so emotional to be able to see that. And then to have a feeling that he is actually done and that this is it for his time with NXT is bittersweet.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, Tuesday, right? There is going to be, he's got something. Are they maybe pulling him up? Are they maybe bringing him to the main? Has he signed a contract for Raw or SmackDown? We're going to find out. But if he is totally done, we know that there's going to be a resurgence of another company that's on a little bit of a hiatus right now.
Ooh,
and what a better name to have showcase everything as a comeback than Johnny Gargano for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. Not especially like you said, if they want to rebrand and redo everything, that's that. If you got a handful or 2 or 3 names right at the forefront of the rebranding, Gargano would not be a bad one. That everyone knows him. Even being an NXT and never on the main roster, like if you're a WWE fan, you watch mainstream wrestling, like you probably know who Johnny Gargano is.
I don't want him on the main roster, man.
I do not either. I do not either. I don't want anyone on the main roster.
This was my idea to run the
Nobody go to the main roster, please.
The Johnny Gargano special. But for me, like, this is what I love about professional wrestling. And this is why this sport means the world to me. And this is why we do what we do. But like every time Johnny Gargano, 9 times out of 10, had a takeover feud, I liked the other guy better. Right? Like the Ciampa thing that got me so back into wrestling so hardcore because it was such a great storyline. But I liked Ciampa better when he was fighting Andrade. I liked Andrade just a little bit better, and that's not indicative of Gargano. He is fantastic. He is phenomenal. But it's just like, if you don't like, Tom Brady, right? But you respect what Tom Brady
doesn't like Tom Brady.
I always love to say that to get you going. But you don't. But I respect what the man did and brought to. And they called him Johnny Takeover for a reason. And it used to be a nice running joke with me that this is his 1200th Takeover match because he never was going to leave. And that little tease call up that he had on the main roster, I thought, it's happening. And things happened, this, that, and the other, and he got sent back down, and he's been killing it ever since. And it would be interesting if his next move was main roster. I just don't know what you do with him because obviously even NXT 2.0 is going away from the 199-pound.
Yeah, the little guys.
And they're going towards the Von Wagners of the world and the Grayson Wallers and the Braun Breakers. And I just don't know if you have a spot for him on that main roster. So it'd be really interesting to see if he stayed. But I mean, you can't argue the man's legacy and the man's impact on NXT. I mean, some of those, like I said, that Ciampa Gargano feud is one of the best told stories.
I think it's the best story. I think it's easily the best story NXT has ever told. Yeah. Easily. And in my opinion, and you can pick out certain moments like Kofi Mania and the Bryan stuff and things of that nature. But in my opinion, I think that's the best story under the WWE umbrella in probably the last handful of years. Now, it sucks that they never really got to finish it properly because Ciampa's neck got hurt. If they would have been able to have that real culmination of it with Gargano winning the title at Mania against Ciampa at the Mania TakeOver, which was scheduled. Obviously, he ended up having a fantastic 2 out of 3 match with Cole, which was amazing. But if that was Ciampa and it was that would have just – we're talking – and I know, hindsight is 20/20 and you're just thinking about it because we're talking about Gargano now. If that story finishes the way that it was supposed to finish, you're talking about one of the best feuds in the history of professional wrestling. It probably already still is, but you're talking about one of the start to finish best stories ever told in wrestling, from the Cruiserweight Classic to them becoming tagged a beloved tag team who fell short, and then finally won, and then Ciampa turns up. It's just everything about it was perfectly told, and just the cards just didn't align for that real climax finish that we all wanted and we were all waiting for. Just unfortunate for injury. It is what it is. You can't control it. But it's still, it's still the best story that NXT has ever told. Man.
If I can jump in just for a moment,
Yeah.
I've just 2 kind of quick thoughts here.
No, you sit there and be quiet. We invited you on for your looks. Kidding.
I mean, that was part of it. Yes.
No,
you go ahead.
So first, HCW Sports saying, give him the belt and watch. Okay. Main roster, give him the belt and watch, not the main championship. But what needs elevation? The U.S. title and that Intercontinental Championship.
I agree.
Okay. Those both need elevation. Hashtag handsome Carl O'Reilly. I love it. Yeah, both of those titles need elevation.
Mm-hmm.
They 100% do. And who better to do it than Johnny Gargano? And I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but Johnny Gargano reminds me a lot of someone else in the business that is a beloved professional wrestler who was with the WWE, who is with the WWF, who has gone through and is now working for another company called AEW. But I see a lot of Dustin Rhodes with Johnny Gargano. So he might not be that guy that is everybody's favorites. Not everybody might not love him, but the guy is a workhorse. The guy is always there to do the job. The guy is always there to help put over. And the guy is always there to be so happy and thankful when given opportunities and championships, whether it's tag or anything else. I don't know. That's what I saw. That's what I saw from all of this coming to this ending here. I'm like, yeah, that's a Dustin Rhodes right there.
Yeah. Ashford. What do you think? All right, now why don't we go a little bit back? So obviously the Ciampa story I think is going to be near the top of our list, probably all of our list, but what were some of the matches, or if you could pick a few that stick out to you as like the ones you truly remember with Gargano involved?
I think one of the big ones for me is with Andrade, because I wanted to like Andrade from the beginning, but I wasn't connecting with him. And I feel like that match with Gargano is one of the reasons why I started connecting with Andrade. And I think the other one will be anything with FTR, like those matches with DIY FTR. That's definitely memorable.
Incredible.
Can't forget about those.
The 2 out of 3 falls that they had, I believe it was the Toronto TakeOver, I want to say. Incredible. And then they also had a really good triple threat with the Authors of Pain, FTR, and DIY as well. All those matches were like, you talk about Gargano, and he's been a singles guy for so long now that we talk about that first. But like, they changed the way that like tag team wrestling was viewed as well. When you had all those guys, you had DIY, you had FTR, you had Authors of Pain, you had American Alpha, you had all these great tag teams down there that would just have bangers and like it was just like, man, and DIY was at the forefront of that, especially with FTR, the revival, obviously when they were with NXT and WWE. Some of the best tag matches you'll just ever see, period. You can make an argument that both matches that you mentioned and our buddy Dan mentioned, those are two of the best matches in the history of NXT as a company. Especially the Andrade one might be the best singles match in the history of NXT. I feel like we were expecting it to be a good match, but like when it happened in real time, it was like, what the hell? These guys have been fighting for 40 minutes. Like, this is insane right now. What is going on? And Andrade wins. Was that to keep the title, or did he win the title? He kept the title because Gargano hadn't had it yet, right? So everyone's thinking that Gargano, he's finally going to do it. Andrade, like he's going to do it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, no, that match solidified Andrade.
And then he showed up on the Rumble the next night. Right? And he was all injured because that match was such a banger.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. The Gargano, Damian Priest was good stuff too back before Priest got the call up. I mean, that dude's just a match machine. Like, I don't think you could say, that was a bad Johnny Gargano match, because I don't think it exists. Like it's just like the person that's also possibly leaving, Kyle O'Reilly. That guy never puts on a bad match either.
Yeah.
His legacy is going to be different, right? So this is where I got thinking about this, and this is why I wanted to talk with some people and just talk it out. Because if you're going to talk NXT top 5, top 10, Johnny's in there, and Kyle's in there if you're saying Undisputed Era, but yet Kyle, on his own right, is a fantastic wrestler, 3-time tag champion in NXT as well. 3 times, right? Yeah, they've won it 3 times.
3.
Yeah, he's one of the pillars too, but I don't know if he makes that top 10 without the Undisputed Era run.
Well, it's very bizarre to me because it's like they broke up the Undisputed Era.
Stupid. And still mad about it.
At the time, but we now that Cole was on his way out. You kind of see how it was going to go, right? Cole and Fish aren't there. Roddy was, but regardless of that, when they broke that up, Kyle was being positioned as this is going to be the next top babyface champion in NXT. Kyle.
Cool Kyle.
Kyle O'Reilly.
No, and cool Kyle. That's what
cool. Yeah, that didn't work. No. But that was what they were doing. Like, that was like, O'Reilly's going to be the guy here. Like, they're positioning him to be that next guy. And then all of a sudden it was just like, no, we're going to change, we're going to NXT 2.0. We're going to be doing this and changing a little bit. And it just wasn't. He wasn't who they had dreamed at the top of the card anymore. And so it's kind of like, I cracked a joke on the watch along last night where I was, somebody was like, they were talking about Von Wagner and they were like, who's that guy in the ring? I was like, that's Kyle O'Reilly. And they were like, we know who Kyle O'Reilly is. I was like, I just didn't know if you forgot about him because the booking's been trash. So like that was my joke. And it's funny, but it's also sad because he's literally one of the best wrestlers on the planet Earth. And they had him in a nothing tag match with a nothing wrestler who we're not going to know in 5 months. And it's just like,
yeah, we will. He'll be on the top 10 greatest busts.
Remember
Von Wagner?
So I'm just kind of, and that's whatever. Like, he's trying, cool, like, good for you. But like, to me, it's like, really, like, when you look at how last night went, and I get it, like, Kyle O'Reilly is fighting in a cage match tomorrow night against Von Wagner, and he's probably going to lose and go out on his back and put the kid over. And that's going to be the last time we remember Kyle O'Reilly is in this bullshit nothing tag match, which, by the way, great match. It was a really, really good match. In my opinion, it was the best match of the night last night. The Kyle O'Reilly and Fabian Eichner, when they insane. This is not a knock on O'Reilly as a professional wrestler. This is a knock on how the hell do you have Kyle O'Reilly involved in something that doesn't matter, especially when he's leaving. Like, you treat Gargano this way, but then you're just like, Kyle, what's up? Yeah, you're going to be over here. Okay. Cool. But we'll let you say suck it and give the undisputed. Like we'll let you have your moment. But
Do you
like,
think
no,
they let
you're going to be
him
over here.
do that? Do you think he just did
Yes.
that?
No, I think he got the okay. I bet you Sean gave him the okay. Sean's a rebel. Sean's a rebel at heart. I bet you Sean was like, you've done your service. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. You've done your service. But yeah, no, I'll send it down to either one who wants to go first with Astrid or Carl, whoever wants to jump in. But how are we thinking about Kyle O'Reilly and how he's been kind of booked on the way out, and just what is, I guess, we're always going to remember the Undisputed Era, but how are we going to remember Kyle O'Reilly, the individual, when we look back on the NXT era of Kyle O'Reilly? Because we assume that he's most likely, I would almost say definitely leaving. That's the vibe that I get. So, whoever wants to go first between either of you, take the lead. Carl's picking Astrid, so it's going to be Astrid.
I really don't. I'm like, all I see when I think of Kyle is definitely Undisputed Era. The thing that upsets me the most is like being how great Undisputed Era was. I wish I could have got like a better ending to what it was, because I feel like it was just like Adam and Kyle. Forget everybody else. Nobody else is part of Undisputed Era other than these two. And that part I didn't like. I wish I could have gotten a better ending to that story, like the way we think of like Ciampa and Gargano, for example. To me, that's a better ending to the story than what it was with Undisputed Era. And I know obviously they took out Bobby and then Adam left, but I feel like they could have done a little bit better with that. I feel like at least with Adam, the matches he had with Adam, I feel like they highlighted Kyle for me, because other than that, when I think of Kyle, I think of Undisputed Era. I don't think of anything else in NXT, unfortunately. I wish I didn't, but that's it. But I think like more than anything, maybe he thinks like maybe on his way out, to me, maybe he's just trying to give wisdom to one of the like younger kids, and that's why he's doing this with Vaughn, try to give him the opportunity to like have that experience with him. And I think that's just his way of being like, I'm gonna go out, but I'm gonna do it by influencing one of the people you have on the roster that's gonna stay here while I leave. That's how I see it. But yeah, I know obviously, like you said, I'm thinking already tomorrow he's gonna lose that match and he's gonna
100%.
end like that with the crowd saying thank you, Kyle, and then that's it, because that's how it's gonna end. There's nothing else to it.
Well, he's on his back, like putting this schlub over. Like it's just like, okay, like I get it. That's how you do it. You go out on your back. I get it. But like my thing is
wrestler right there,
JPJ. My thing is, right? You look at the men's match last night, right? Good match. Old guard versus 2.0. You couldn't have figured something else out for LA Knight to do, and Kyle couldn't have been the fourth guy on that team?
I mean, he said it.
Wouldn't Kyle have made more sense to be the fourth guy on NXT Black and Gold than the guy who just debuted this year? And I like LA Knight. He debuted this year. He got there this year. Okay, he's not Black and Gold. He's not. Just because he's older, it doesn't mean that he's Black and Gold. Okay? All right. I'm sure you could have had Von Wagner and friggin' LA Knight in that tag match instead of, don't get me wrong, like I said, it was a good match. It was a good match. Imperium is insanely good. Kyle O'Reilly is insanely good. And Von Wagner is Von Wagner. So it is what it is, right?
What do you
It was a good match.
Kyle O'Reilly. Carl O'Reilly.
What? And then you could have had simultaneously the Johnny Gargano and O'Reilly together on the same team. Come on. I just don't understand how, and Astrid's right. I'm sure they went to him and they said, hey, we have high hopes for this guy. We want to put him with someone that we know we can trust, that will kind of guide him and whatever. And you're over and like, you'll help the crowd, whatever. And Kyle, being a good employee, was like, yeah, whatever. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Just tell me what you want me to do. But like, I feel like they could have done Kyle O'Reilly better on his way out.
When you're at work and you're training the new guy that's good, that you're gonna that he's gonna replace you sooner or later.
You're training your replacement. You're like, cool. All right, I guess so. Carl, I'll let you go. I'll let you riff on Kyle O'Reilly a little bit.
Sounds good. Before I do that, I just want to go back to Johnny Gargano for a moment and talking about great memories and matches. How about his slight little dark turn that he had? War Games 2018 matchup with Aleister Black. My God. Does not get the credit it deserves. I absolutely loved it. One of the best for me when it comes to Johnny Gargano. Now, to answer your question, when it comes to Kyle O'Reilly And what is he going to be remembered for besides the Undisputed Era? I think Dan J has perfectly answered that. Dan J didn't even come up with anything having to do with NXT, but came up with something having to do with New Japan. And I think that perfectly answers it. We are not going to remember absolutely anything when it comes to Kyle O'Reilly in a singles run in NXT or within the WWE. Everything's going to be Undisputed Era. But thankfully, there are people out there like Dan J that remember the amazing stuff that he has done in other companies.
Yeah. Because even his singles run at the end with Cole there, that was all Undisputed Era tie-ins, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, but that's Kyle's legacy, and hey, that's not a bad legacy to have. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
it certainly isn't.
We're not knocking Kyle here. We're just saying I think it's two different levels of two different guys leaving about the same time who did impact the NXT brand in different ways. I mean, I will always have the air guitar.
Yeah, I mean, that was the cool Kyle. That stuff is cool Kyle to me with the air guitar and stuff like that. Not when they were like, hey, we want you to try to act cool. When he was just doing his own shit, that's cool Kyle.
Right. Yeah.
Then they were like, hey, man, we're going to lean into cool Kyle. Go do that. And it's like, no, man, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Just be yourself. Yourself is cool enough, brother. But, yeah, man, it's just there's not many left. If these two go, you really got Ciampa. He's really the only. I mean, Pete Dunne was on the team. Yes,
but we know he ain't going anywhere for like.
He ain't going anywhere. So we know Pete Dunne is there. You know, you can call him black and gold. He's more UK to me, and then just kind of, I feel like Gargano and Samoa Joe, wherever he is. But I feel like Gargano's it. He's a lot. I'm not Gargano. Ciampa is it. Ciampa's the last one standing, and he's currently the NXT champ.
As it obviously should be, because I think he is NXT. Like he would be my number one.
He is. I mean, he's right up there. To me, it's because of the story. It's Ciampa, Gargano, and you can make an argument of people here or there that were like Finn Balor has an argument. Adam Cole, who's no longer there, has an argument.
Right.
But Gargano and Ciampa, those were the two. That was the story. It's them two. Yeah. Those are the NXT guys. So they have always been very open about they never wanted to leave NXT. They never wanted to go to the main roster. They wanted to be those guys, the guys you think about when you think about NXT, and they are. They are. And Ciampa's really the gatekeeper now. He's the champ. Obviously, and I'm going to let the NXT crew tomorrow, I'm assuming, they talked about it late last night. I don't know if they'll readdress it tomorrow after Tuesday's show when we finally realize, figure out what's going on. I lost my train of thought, so that's all over with. I just lost my train of thought. So whatever I was building up there, gone.
I do agree with Dan J there. Dan J saying before Ciampa and Gargano, there was Sammy and KO. Yes, definitely. Yes.
Which the next time we'll do one of these run-ins probably be when they leave.
Right.
So January, I believe, is when KO is,
Ciampa reminds me of the Undertaker of NXT. For what he does in the back, for what he does on that main roster, he's very loyal to NXT, very loyal to NXT. And he's just that person that everybody, from what I understand, that everybody just kind of goes to and gravitates towards. And if there's an issue, they kind of go and talk with him and stuff like that, right? And that's just stuff that I've heard. And I hope it's true, because I think that Ciampa definitely is suited for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Just to that point, if you lose a Kyle and a Johnny in that locker room, and it's younger and younger and younger, Ciampa's going to get leaned on even more. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe this is it for him, and after this run, maybe he'll become a coach type deal. I think, he's very adamant about he loves, not having to travel as much and being home close to the family and the wife and the kids. Maybe he'll be happy with that. I don't know. But it's interesting to see where like I said, this is kind of, to me, it was like an end of an era last night. And we're going to really, now it's really time to jumpstart what the 2.0 brand is going to be, because you're starting to filter out some of that old guard and you're down to just one or two left. And man, what a run.
Yep. And then last night they set up that Braun Breaker is going to get his rematch, and he's going to win that title from Ciampa. And then that's it. That's it. Once that happens, baby, we are in 2.0. That's it. No tag-alongs anymore, man.
He's going to win all.
Braun Breaker's going to win the Rumble. 100% winning the Rumble.
All the
gold. Pick. He should be. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I think on everybody's board, he has to be a top 3 candidate. He has to be. And the whole umbrella of WWE in the last 2 months, who's been booked better? That's not a champion.
Damian Priest. Oh, he's a champion.
Maybe. Yeah, well, yeah, but he's a mid-card champion, so technically they're not, obviously a world champion's not going to win the Rumble. But who literally under the WWE umbrella that is a mid-card champion or not a champion, who's been booked better on television than Braun Breaker on any of the 3 shows? He ain't getting 50-50. He did lose the match to Ciampa, obviously, but it was a title match. It was a real good match. He hasn't lost a damn thing since, other than that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It'd be interesting to see.
He's got to be in the discussion. But regardless of that, I do agree with what you said, Pluggo. It did feel like last night was another end of an era type thing when it came to these 2 guys, just the show in general. Obviously, it was the first special NXT, not a takeover, but it was the first 2.0, and it just felt like we were saying goodbye to.
Good point.
For years and years and years. Did I just disappear? I did. I think so. The winds outside here right now. The winds are like they're howling. You can hear.
Usually it's me on these shows that has the problems. All of a sudden, I was like,
man. The weather. It's windy out there. It's windy out there.
I actually, before I did want to highlight the one thing that I have loved about Gargano recently too has been everything with Index. I'm like, it's been a whole year of Index. And I'm like, as the Index expert in NXT, I gotta say, I've been loving everything that happened there.
Dad, I love it.
And then everything with Dexter, the thumbs up with Dexter last night.
They even gave that send off last night too, with him and Dexter. Dexter being like, "Hey man, I appreciate you."
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Him dressing like Dexter in the last couple of matches they had together, things like that. Those little details like that is what makes you love Johnny Gargano. Just like I'm definitely gonna miss him.
And it's one of those things too, where when they did the way and they did stuff like that, like you saw a different side of Gargano because they started off as a bad group. They were heels and all these things, and they still were for most of it. But then they became a face group because Johnny was so funny and he was so good at being that dad figure of the group that was always like, "What the hell are we doing? Like, what is it?" And it just got over because you would watch these segments and you'd laugh your ass off and you'd be like, "This is," that just. It saw a different side of Gargano, and I think he can do it all, man. He was a good heel, a good baby face, a good leader, a good tag partner. Like he can do it all.
Exactly. The honeymoon part. I can't forget the honeymoon. Like also, all I saw on my timeline that was on that gift.
Yeah.
It was priceless.
Yeah. And
now he's gonna make a great TNT champion.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I'd watch him and Guevara any
day
of the week.
I know people got things to do. Where do you guys see Kyle and Johnny ending up if you had to pick with your guts? We'll start down with Carl or Kyle, whatever your name is.
Handsome Carl, I think
Handsome Carl.
So Gargano taking a little bit of time and then doing a return to Ring of Honor, I think is what we're going to see once Ring of Honor returns. Kyle O'Reilly, New Japan, America.
Okay.
And Scott Steiner is on his way.
Oh, there he is. Told you, it's getting wild out here.
It's getting wild Boston, baby.
Hey, Asher, where do you think these 2 will end up? If you had to guess.
I definitely think that Johnny's taking some time off, especially with Candice probably giving birth soon. That's the first part. And afterwards, I really don't know where I would see him. With Kyle, I do see him going back to Japan, as I think it's easier for him in that sense and going back to where he was. But with Johnny, I really have no idea. It's just like I'm still clueless about it. That's why I'm more excited than anything about that promo tomorrow.
Yeah. For me, and then I'll let Pluggo end this sucker because this was his idea. For me,
Don't
I
put
would.
that on me.
No, I'm saying that in a good way. This
No,
was
I
your
know.
idea. You hit me up and wanted to do it.
Disgusting.
I was just on board, man. This has been fun.
I never have good ideas.
Yeah. For me, I think O'Reilly. Here's the thing. New Japan is what sticks out for me the most with Kyle O'Reilly, but Bobby Fish and Adam Cole are already in AEW. And I think, yeah, he did it last night. He said it's a brotherhood. They're already there. Bobby Fish on screen at AEW in one of the funnier moments, like went to do like a couple weeks ago when he was teaming with Cole in the pre-match promo. He went to do it, and the Young Bucks were like, no, you can't do that here. That's not here. Wrong place. You can't do that here. So they even like referenced it. Like, I think, again, I would think New Japan would be probably more better suited for him because he has a history there and he can play on that history. But I would also be very okay with Red Dragon reforming an AEW with him and Fish and just letting them add another great tag team to their already stellar tag team division that they have. You telling me I get to watch Red Dragon go against FTR or the Young Bucks or
Jurassic
the
Express.
Lucha Bros, Jurassic Express, all the best friends, all these tag teams? Like, I would not be against that either. As far as Gargano goes, I think no matter what, he's taking time off. No matter what. He's going to have a baby soon. He said in the promo after the show that he's beat up and worn down and hurt a little bit. Like,
From
so I could see
carrying
him.
NXT.
Yeah, because he has been carrying the product for the last handful of years. So I could easily see him at the very least, taking time off until the baby's born and kind of resting up. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he does stay. I don't. But if I had to guess for him, I would say AEW. For Gargano. Impact, I think, could be a possibility. But like I said, I feel like he's a little – there's matches I would want to see him. I know Ed mentioned some. Trey Miguel would be great.
Yeah.
Chris Bay. Like, there's matches I would love to see Gargano have an Impact. I just feel like he's, like, slightly more elevated than that. Like, if I can't watch it weekly because I don't have the channel, I don't want Johnny Gargano there. Like, I want to see him somewhere where I can flip on a TV and I don't have to – crawl or go on Google and be like, where can I watch this? Like, I just want to see him wrestle, That's just me though. But that would be my picks for those two. And Pluggo, send us home, brother.
For like you said, I think you said it pretty well there. Johnny Gargano and AEW would be fun. I think, like you said, he takes some time off for Gargano. I think he's going to get one of those contracts that he can go do other things if he wants to do them. He's at that level where he could say, hey, I'll sign here in AEW, but I want to go fight Chris Bay. I want to go take on Trey Miguel. Or I want to go do this or I want to go do that. Kyle, AEW they signed Bobby Fish, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Sean Ross Sapp that said it. They signed Bobby Fish, they're gonna sign Kyle. And I just have this vision of like Kyle O'Reilly, Lee Moriarty, 20 minutes, just let him go. Like, I want that. But again, Kyle's the same way. I think if he wants to go do New Japan, they're going to let him do New Japan. And I think he'd be a perfect face for New Japan to get this American side going because they're trying to get the American market and they need some people that we know. So Johnny and Kyle could both do that. That'd be fun.
Well, and but I think
wherever they go, we're going to win as fans. If they stay, I don't think Kyle's staying. I think Kyle last night, I think the suck it and all that. I think that was, I'm done. I suck it to the new school as a brotherhood. I'm leaving with my friends. Johnny, I don't want to speak for a person, but I've been in that situation where I am
that'd be a good one.
Married with a child on the way, and he might want that security of like, hey, I know where the check's going to come. I don't have to go do the independent circuit unless AEW comes with the bag and gives them a guarantee.
I mean, they have bags of their own, so they do have bags to give.
They're both in good spots, man. Wrestling is a good spot, and wherever they go, like I said, I think you'll get to see them on some independent circuits, which would be really fun too, because that's what a lot of these people that are leaving WWE are doing. You're seeing them pop up on the indies, which is replenishing the indie scene, which is making the indie scene grow. What a night last night. I just wanted to come on and shoot the shit and talk about two people that I find are legendary in NXT, and they both potentially could be gone as of Tuesday.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, after NXT tomorrow, be
Yeah.
sure to hang on back on this channel right here after Power Out. So it's usually around 10:30. Power Out starts at 10, so watch Power Out. Zach is great. He does a great job.
He's an alien.
But if you're just looking for your NXT fish, wait, we got a question. I think this is from the boss. To close out the show, we can go around the room, and then we'll plug our shit, and then we'll get out of here. Because I know Josh is in the chat, but I have to go have a conversation with Josh for a little bit after I get out of here. So
we're holding that up.
I will start with Carl, and then we'll go clockwise or one of them. I don't know. Who is so this is your personal NXT Mount Rushmore?
Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know that this person is going to be a star, I'm going to throw Braun Breaker in there.
You're calling your shot.
Calling it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Plug up.
Somebody clip that for later.
Hey, you never know. He's going to be right. I mean, Braun Breaker is winning that title. 100%.
For me, it's Ciampa, Cole, Shayna Baszler.
Ooh.
I thought her run was phenomenal.
Crazy good.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
And you have to understand NXT, I got into it right at the end of the Kevin Owens stuff, and it kind of started to become what it is now. So I look back on that in a different light, but I think you have to say Bayley too. Bayley,
well, I was just going to say,
who's going to put there on there? That's where I'm at. It's weird because there's so many different phases, but if it was me, it's Baszler, Bayley, Ciampa, and Cole.
Yeah, Baszler's a great one. I was going to say, in my world, there is no NXT Mount Rushmore without Bayley. Bayley, I can make an argument that Bayley is still, to this day, the most over person that NXT ever had. Yeah. She was, man.
Von Wagner. Calling it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the Von.
He called Breaker. He's calling Vaughn. We'll know about that one in about 3 weeks. So, sorry, I'm ragging on the guy. My bad. It's not like he's been there for 6 years, still trying. But so it's it is what it is. My Mount Rushmore. Oh God. Yeah, I'm going Bayley. I got to go Samoa Joe. I got to go Adam Cole. And then I think my last one, I think I got to go Finn Balor. So I would do Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, and Bayley. That would be my NXT Mount Rushmore. And we will finish this up with the host, or one of the hosts of NXT, Astrid. And so give us your Mount Rushmore and then plug your stuff, and then we'll go around the room and we'll get out of here.
And I say I've been watching NXT since it was a game show. So to be honest, to pick
you could go way back. You could go way back if you want.
So it's hard for me to pick, but if it was thinking of the people that attracted me to NXT, definitely Rollins will be one of them for me from the beginning. Bayley will be my other one. And definitely Andrade is another one that I really loved. I never thought I'd love him. And then him and Zelina were I loved them together. And wow, I don't know about the last one, to be honest, but I'll definitely say Balor because I loved watching him. I was there for his debut, so watching him, I got goosebumps when I saw him. So just I knew that he was going to be it in NXT. So definitely those are probably my four.
Did anybody say Donnie?
No, we've been talking about Gargano this whole time. Nobody took him.
I'm sorry, I go way back. It's hard to
look. You can be the heart. You can be the heart and soul, and not be the best person on the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And
you know what I mean?
NXT has been so vast. I don't think anybody could be wrong unless they took Von Wagner 4 times. But being 5th in the upper echelon of NXT is not the end of the world, right? It's so because we don't even get into the women's side of things. Some of the things the women have been doing.
Yeah, we didn't say Asuka. Nobody said Asuka. Charlotte. All 4 horsewomen were very good in NXT.
NXT was just
and it's still good. I don't want to sit here and just bag on the new stuff. It's just different. It's still good, but NXT, when you look at the past of it, man, Whew.
We better get out of here. Josh is getting
Yeah,
feisty.
Josh is losing. I know. I gotta go. You know,
We've ran over because the
yeah,
boss has to
he's throwing
play.
Kelly and Lay Cool. He's throwing it all in there.
He's
throwing it all in
unhinged
there.
Thursday nights at 8:30.
All right, Astrid. Plug NXT tomorrow. Plug any other things you got coming up. Let the people know where they can find you, and then we're gonna get on out of here.
Yeah, so definitely after tomorrow and everything that's gonna happen, the bombshells, the two of them at least. Yeah, hang out with us in NXT. We usually go around 10:30 to 10:45, depending how long and Power Hour is. So just watch for the beginning at 10 o'clock, and you'll get the double feature that we always do on Tuesdays. But other than that, I was with my friend on WrestlePlug this week, so go check that out on the YouTube, talking about the predictions for War Games that I totally lost in, but you can still watch it to enjoy it. But other than that, NXT on Tuesdays with Ed, and if we get coded, that we have a special guest usually every single week that we can. And other than that, you can find me on my Twitter, which is Astrid Pizarro, and then I'll be live tweeting when I'm not here. So
awesome. And Carl, you have a show tomorrow before NXT, so tell the people about that show, where they can find you, and what else you do on Love Wrestling.
I do so much different things. It's draining sometimes, but the main show that I do is called Turnbuckle Talk at TV Talk Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's where you can find me. You can find me personally on Twitter at KCarafel. And just as Josh has put there, I do go on TikTok as well. You can find me, Carl Carafel, on TikTok. And yes, we talk absolutely anything over there. It doesn't have to be professional wrestling. We talk music. We talk absolutely anything over there. I absolutely love all the work that I do with all of the different platforms that I'm on. And I'm so thankful that Love Wrestling brought in Turnbuckle Talk into the family. It is absolutely amazing. And maybe soon we're going to see a Turnbuckle Rewind come out as well.
Nice.
There are a few of them that are out and available and ready just to be put out there and uploaded. So we're going to have to see. I do want to leave everybody just with this quick note, though. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart.
Well, that was nice.
Well, you can't go to me.
Yeah, no, I'm
now.
going to you, Plug, on next. You're going to you. Don't ruin that. Don't ruin that moment.
Fart noise, burp. I don't know what to do.
Don't
so
ruin
good.
it.
No, you know.
Okay, fart noise. I'll kill my own shit here. Fart noise. So I was doing a TikTok live, and I got up to go use the bathroom because I had been drinking some Jägermeister and Dr. Pepper mix. And I got up and I thought I was far enough away and I farted, and nope, I sure as hell wasn't. I came back and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you farted, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, yep, I did."
Well, there you go. Now you don't have to worry, Pluggo. Now you can just be
pressure's not
yourself
on.
and just take a deep breath and let the
Listen,
people know where they can find you.
Like we said this morning, treat every day like it's Taco Tuesday.
It's true.
You can find me at Pluggo_. You can find us on B2 Beards on Twitter, on Facebook, and now on TikTok. We jumped on the TikTok train. I have a feeling the handsome Carl O'Reilly is going to make an appearance on the TikTok soon. We'll have our producer clip that. But yeah, and we'll be here Thursday night at 8 o'clock because Quizplex needed the spot. No, that's going to be an awesome show. I'm excited for it. Thursday's going to be packed. We've got a special guest, and I'm going to just go, JPJ, who is that special guest?
It is stand-up comedian Blake Hammond. Very excited about having him. I seen his video come out like a month or so ago. He had the pop punk lyrics video that was circulating on the internet. I'm sure we will promote it at some point. We'll probably throw that video on there to promote, like, obviously him coming on the show. It's a hilarious video. We're probably going to play it that night. So, but yeah, we have him on the show. That should be really fun. I'm sure we'll dive into, a little bit of Dynamite, probably talk some more NXT a little bit, especially considering what might happen tomorrow. I'm going to let the NXT crew handle it right away. And then you and I will kind of hop in here with our 2 cents afterwards. But yeah, I agree with Alana there. Farts will never not be funny. That is true. That is a true statement. Apparently, Pluggo is getting Christmas tree number 5. Someone alert the wordsmith. Make sure he's alive and well. Please. Someone alert the wordsmith.
He's like,
I need to know
right
if he's
now.
okay.
He's like, what's going on?
Please.
And Ed, that's not going to happen.
Never.
Yeah.
You can't. You might be able to move the
stop
flagship a half
moving.
hour early occasionally. You're never replacing the flagship. Other than without that, what do we got?
We are
really?
we are
It's-
more
I mean,
than happy though to make
I'm not.
accommodations for a Quizplex because
I'm
we
not.
love.
No. I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
I was
No,
gonna
I'm
say,
kidding. It was a joke.
okay.
We got what we needed. We got what we needed. We had our demands, and our demands were friggin' met.
They were met to a T.
You know why they were met? Because we're the flagship. That's why they were
Maybe.
met. Understood. All right. Anyway.
All right, we took
No.
up enough of your.
I know. I know. We wanted to go a half hour. We went a friggin' hour, but it was fun. It was fun, and it was a good time. I want to thank Carl and Ashford for hopping on with us two bozos and talking about Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, and NXT. Thank you guys. It was extremely short notice. So thank you for having the flexibility to hop on and join us, because it would have been an absolute shit show if it was just plug on me. So thank you.
Just like every Thursday night.
Heyo. So yeah, but Thursday 8:00 we'll be on there. Watch Turnbuckle Talk tomorrow. Watch NXT tomorrow, and then watch our NXT tomorrow after Power Out. Watch Power Out. Zach's great. But yeah, just follow us, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, give us all the love here at Love Wrestling, because we certainly love what we do,
Check the
and we're real good at it. I'm going to turn this car around. I'm going to turn this car right around and get the hell out of here, because I'm not. Love you all.
Yep.
Till Thursday for Between Two Beards. We'll see you. You'll see these two tomorrow. Watch the shows.
That's right.
But Thursday night, you'll see me and Pluggo, 8 p.m., Between Two Beards, the flagship.
With
Until
Blake
then.
Hammond, baby.
Until then, peace out.